Alrighty guys, what is going up? I hope you guys are all having a great and amazing day today. Now in today's episode, we're going to be talking about, is Delta Airlines stock a buy? So I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you guys do, make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't already. Also, we have a course. It's $5. You guys will learn how to properly analyze stock. We talk about fundamental, technical analysis, how to find undervalued stocks, how to retire, taxes, everything you guys need. First link down below, it's only $5, make sure you guys check it out. So now, let's jump into it, roll the intro, let's go. So now, when evaluating a stock, I really like to look at the fundamentals, which is like the balance sheet, and then I do like to look at the technicals, which is like the stock chart. On the stock chart, you guys can find support, resistance, and stuff like that. So let's talk about the fundamentals first. Now, when evaluating a stock, it's always good to look at the competitors. I do think that Delta Airlines has quite a few competitors. They do have American, United, and Spirit Airlines that really act as Delta's main competitors in that airline sector. Now another thing, with everything going on, people aren't traveling. Now I do think this is terrible for that sector. The reason why is because they just ran out of stimulus money, which means they had to lay off over 32,000 employees in that sector, which is terrible because now those people are going to have to go on unemployment, and it's really going to drag the whole market down. Now, a lot of analysts think that we will get back to traveling by the year of 2023, which is a long time away, and I do think that some of these companies are not going to be able to hold out. It's really going to be the companies with the most cash on hand, the companies that can reduce cost and spending, and the companies that overall just make the most money. It's very simple. Those companies are going to stay afloat and get through this hard time. Now, let's look at Delta. Now, right now, Delta Airlines is saving as much cash as possible. They saved around $15.8 billion, and this was an overall 678% increase, which is absolutely crazy. The reason why I say that is because when a company's saving so much money and so much cash, they're keeping cash on hand, it's super important because this means that they have some money to get through some hard times. You know, there's going to be some hard times in the next 6 months, the next year. It's just a matter of when people can start traveling again. And I think it's a little bit farther away than we think. Another thing to look out for is, let's just say 2020 was a complete crap show, and in 2021 they start making the same revenue that they did in 2019. Does that mean that stock should be at the same price levels as 2019? No. The reason why I say that is when companies go ahead and stay afloat for as long as a year, most of the time they take on an ungodly amount of long-term debt, just like Delta Airlines did. Now, looking at Delta Airlines' balance sheet right here, they took on around $19.4 billion in long-term debt. You know, that might not seem like a lot, but this was an overall 151% increase, which is not very good. Now, with the long-term debt being that much, what is their revenue? Now, looking at their last quarter of earnings, they did make around $1.4 billion in revenue, which seems like a lot of money, but that is an overall 88% decline, which is not very good. Also, right now, Delta Airlines has negative margin. Really, what that means is for every $100 Delta Airlines brings in, they actually lose about $10. They're not able to save any money, and so that's just another reason to stay away from airline stocks. Now, is there any hope with Delta Airlines? The answer is yes, there is hope with them. You know, the government already said that they're not going to let these companies go bankrupt, which is overall pretty good. They could pull off what they did with GM, which isn't too great, but honestly it would still save the company. So now here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and turn to the computer and look at some price action. Let's look at some support, some resistance. Maybe is there a good entry? Maybe is there a good swing trade? Let's talk about it. Let's go. Bam. Alrighty guys, so we have Delta Airlines' ticker symbol DAL. You guys can see before this whole recession, the stock was trading at $62, was paying a pretty strong dividend of around 40 cents. And then this happened. The stock market crashed, the whole recession hit, the pandemic hit, and the stock fell all the way down to about $17 per share, which was crazy. Got bought up, honestly rallied over 100% before selling off and kind of getting back into fair value territory. Now, looking at the stock, you guys can see that this does have this yellow line here. This yellow line here is this 200 moving average line. Really what this does is, one, it overall acts as a trend indicator. So you can look at the stock and instantly know where the trend is. You guys can see that it does have a short-term decline. The trend is down. And another thing that this line likes to act as is a support and a resistance line. So you guys can see when the stock was above it, like it was in here, it really liked to use it as support. So it really means anytime the stock hit it, it got buying pressure. So it hit it, boom, buying pressure, hit it, boom, buying pressure, recession, boom, fell below it. Now when the stock's below it, it really likes to use it as a resistance line. So this is just when we get a tendency to see some sell off when it hits it. So you guys can see it did trade in here with some overall resistance being at $36, came in contact with it here, consolidated, boom, came back up, hit it here, boom, came up, hit it here, boom, and then came almost back up and hit it and boom. So getting back to that yellow line here, you guys can see that it did hit it in here, clarifying this is using it as a resistance line. It had multiple resistance. That's why we did probably get some temporary sell-off here, because you guys can see it had that resistance here, and that resistance in this area with that 200 moving average line also pushing it down. So looking at this stock price right now, is this a good opportunity to get into this position? Maybe for the long term. You know, me being me, I like to find fair and value stocks. You know, I want stocks that have a 50% ROI. I want stocks that could recover. And with Delta Airlines, I do think that I could see this stock coming back down to $15 per share before we get the stock coming back up. Realistically, it's not going to come back up to $62 anytime soon. We're going to have to see some strong earnings. We're going to have to see some other companies step in and help them out, whether it's the government or something like that. That would overall make the stock come up just a little bit more, but hitting highs again, I think it's a long term. You know, it's going to take a while. It really is. So for me to double my money, the stock's going to have to come up to highs right now, and I just don't see that potential. I do see a potential if it comes back down to under $20. That's where I do think it could possibly make some good gains. And right now, I just think the risk of making a couple dollars isn't there for me. You know, you're going to be risking, let's just say $10 to make around $4, which is not a good risk to reward ratio, guys. So I'm staying away from it, and I'm looking for stocks that do have a better future than these airline stocks. But that's just me. I could be completely wrong. Like I said, do your own due diligence, do your own research. If you guys feel like Delta Airlines is a go hard with it. Don't invest in a company because I told you to or anyone else. That's my biggest thing. Understand what you invest in, and you guys will always be fine. Make sure you guys can sleep at night. And another thing, I always think it's strong to have a nice solid base of ETFs, bonds to act as your defense in your portfolio. Because if you guys have some riskier stocks like this, it's always smart to have some stocks and some ETFs that have more reputable history and have more of a long-term approach, like bonds. Bonds are a fantastic way to really have your portfolio have some defense in it. You know, always think about your portfolio as like playing a game. You know, if you play football and you have offense all the time, eventually the other team gets the ball and you need a defense. It's the same thing. And if you don't have a very good defense, you're going to lose money. It's just a matter of time. So I do think it's always smart to understand that. But that's just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So that is it though. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Go ahead and check out my course down below. It's only $5. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Hope you guys have a good one. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and overall stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.